We have to tell stories. This is the great paradox. You have to tell stories. That's how we communicate. But you have to be sure they're not just stories. They're not mere stories, that they are based in fact. The human mind seeks order. We do not like to see randomness. What we tend to do is to see patterns where there is mere randomness and then tell stories that purport to explain those patterns. In the investing world, we tell stories about electric cars, we tell stories about cryptocurrencies, we tell stories that purport to explain the future in ways that they don't even explain the past. We saw a great example of storytelling back in the late 90s when the internet was first beginning to have an impact on society and on industries. The stories we told about the internet led to a massive rise in stock prices of companies with any involvement whatsoever in the internet. But it took many years after the rise in stock prices and subsequent collapse for the impact of the internet actually to be seen. I think it was Bill Gates who said that the impact of any new technology is overestimated in the short term, but underestimated in the long term. We could also say that the whole cryptocurrency boom that began was just a story. We've seen very little actual use in real life of cryptocurrencies. And in fact, they started with a narrative that they were going to disrupt existing banking systems, they were going to disrupt the Federal Reserve, they were going to disrupt fiat currencies around the world. Whereas in fact, the outcome has been that the price of cryptocurrencies has gone up, but not because they've been disruptors, rather they've been embraced by the traditional financial institutions.
It's important that we check our stories against actual reality so that we can look at what's called the base case for any forecast that we make. For example, if we're telling each other a story about the impact of driverless cars, we need to be clear about how quickly new technologies emerged in the past and how quickly they'll likely be adopted before we forecast that this new technology will be adopted and become pervasive so quickly. The way that we try and overcome this storytelling at Harding Loevner is by having a very structured decision-making process. We use very well-defined processes to identify competitive strength through an analysis of the competitive structure of the industry, and through similar templates to identify financial strength, management quality, and all the other aspects of a company that we value.
One of the ways to overcome storytelling, of course, is to make sure that you constantly have your views challenged, that the stories you tell are open to debate, are open to confirmation by actual events, and subject to disagreement. So we incentivize our analysts to get their stocks right. We don't incentivize them to be persuasive. This contrasts with some other firms where analysts are incentivized by their impact on portfolios. So as investors, we need to recognize that stories are very much part of the way we organize the world. But when we are telling stories to each other in order to communicate, we need to be very, very careful to check those stories against the possible facts.